Hi guys, welcome to the explanation for PT18 Game 2. This is a fairly tricky advanced ordering game, and maybe the hardest part is even figuring out what you're kind of doing here. You've got these folders, and you need to put orders, whatever that means, for courses in them. So the thing that I see right away is these folders are numbered 1 through 6, and that has an inherent sense of order to it. So I'm going to want that as my base when I'm making my game board. And as for the game pieces here, what we're actually ordering, we've got these 3 subjects: math, nutrition, and oceanography. But that's not really all that's going on, because for each of these, we have a fall math, and then a spring math, and then a fall nutrition, and a spring nutrition, fall oceanography, and spring oceanography. So 6 pieces total into 6 spots. But rather than keeping track of the fall spring thing with subscript, let's do this the way we're much more used to and make it an advanced ordering game. We'll keep track of fall or spring on an extra row up above. And then whatever the subject is can go in the bottom. So for example, SN here would mean spring nutrition's in that spot. Okay, so once again, we'll put whether it's F or S here, and then our other pieces, all our pieces, the 2 M's, the 2 N's, and the 2 O's are going to go down on this bottom line here. Now for rules, we get some internal conditional rules here. So this first rule tells us that folder 1 has the same subject as folder 2. So I'm going to put a little arrow that if we know subject in 1, if it's M for example, then this would be M over here. And this works both ways. So make sure this arrow goes both ways. If you knew this was M, you could then know this is M. This is like an internal biconditional rule right here. Now for 3, we get the same thing. For this next rule, it tells us 3 and 4 don't have the same subject. So that's going to be an arrow that tells you that whenever you know something's in 3, it's not in 4, and vice versa. So say M was in 4, you'd need N or O over in 3. Say that N was here, you'd need M or O over here. Okay, and then for this next rule, we get that the fall mathematics orders are in either folder 1 or else 4. So we could normally do that like this: FM, and then show that this block is going into 1 or 4. But then I take a look at the next rule, and it's the same thing for spring oceanography, right? So SO would be doing that same thing. And when I see that, I think I just want scenarios that express those 2 options. Because if it's FM here, it's going to be SO here. If it's SO here, then it's going to be FM here. So why don't we just get 2 scenarios and we'll build the rest of our game boards around that. So for the first one, we do fall mathematics here, and then spring oceanography here, and then the reverse down here, SO, then FM. And then there's one last rule here. That's that SN can't go in 5. So maybe make that little block there and create a not law for it. No SN in 5. And this isn't all we can do here. Now we need to look at those internal conditional rules. Okay, well, so this has to be M, and we've used the FM, so it's now the SM, right? Similarly, this has to be O, and we've used the spring O, so this is now the fall O. And now, check this out. Okay, so we've used both M's here. They're gone. And this has to be M or N, right? Because it has to be a different course than we had in 4. But we've used all the M's, so this is now going to have to be an N. And we can do the same thing down here. Both the O's are gone, and this can't be an M, so it has to be an N. We don't know yet whether it's a fall or a spring nutrition, but I figure if we then show those options, we could then very quickly just fill in the rest of this board. So why don't we make scenarios where this is the fall one, and then we'll make a scenario where it's the spring, and do the same thing up here, fall and spring. So here's the fall nutrition. We'll make this the spring nutrition, this the fall nutrition, this the spring nutrition. Otherwise, this is identical to this, and this is identical to this. And then if this is the fall nutrition, this is going to have to be the spring nutrition over here because it can't go into this spot. And then that leaves the only thing left, OF. Similar here, spring nutrition has to be here, and this leaves the only thing left. spring M. Here there's a little more flexibility because we already used the spring N. So on this side, well, we know what's remaining here is the fall N and the fall O, but we don't know yet which is going where. So these two are just dancing around, switching spots in here. Similarly down here, we have the fall N left, fall N, and then we have the spring mathematics left, and we don't know yet where they're going. So they'll be dancing around down here. But that's so little ambiguity that you can just quickly do it in your head when you need to. Okay, then we'll label these scenarios. This can be 1A, and this can be 1B. Then we can make this 2A and 2B. And then we should be ready to just hammer through these questions. For 7, the acceptability question, nothing too hard there. You just need to go through one and find one that matches up with your scenarios. Here, that's D. For 8, we need a statement that must be false. So I just go down in order here, looking for one that pops out at me. A, the spring mathematics in folder 3. It's always nutrition in folder 3. So spring mathematics in 3 has to be false, and that's what we're looking for. It's our right answer. For 9, we've got a local rule. If FO is in folder 2, so I see that here and here, that kicks these scenarios out. So what could be true given that? Spring mathematics in 4, that can never be true, right? Because it's either FM or FO in there, and on the bottom, it's only FM. So that's out. How about spring mathematics in 6? SM6. Yeah, that would be possible in this scenario, right? We got fall nutrition and spring math that can jump around between spots 5 and 6. Totally possible to get SM in 6, so that's our right answer. Okay, for 10, we just need a statement that could be true. SM in folder 1, that can never be true, right? It's either FM or SO in there. How about FO in 1? No, again, it's SO or FM. Not an option to have FO in there. See, how about fall nutrition in 4? Nope, again, same thing. They're just kind of testing you. If you have these scenarios, it's super easy to just cross these off. And then we get to D, and it's finally something appropriate. FO in 2, boom, we see that here, we see that here. And then spring oceanography in folder 1. Yeah, that must be true in both of our scenarios down here. So it could be true, and it's the right answer. Okay, for 11, if FO is in 2, then how many of the remaining folders do we know exactly what's in them, is what this is asking. So the only other two, we need to find the other two that are the same between these two pictures down here, because this scenario up here is not applicable, right? So we know this is the same in both drawings, this is the same in both drawings, so that's it. Anything else can be different. Anything else can switch around, so it gives us an answer of just 2 here. 2 remaining ones besides FO. This is a tricky question because you have to do besides FO, besides folder 2. So some people might accidentally think the answer was 3 here if they weren't carefully reading, but you're only looking at folders besides 2. Okay, for 12, we need 2 folders that have to have different subjects. Well, we obviously know 1 and 4 do because of that rule. But if I'm looking at some other ones here that have to have different subjects, looks like 1 or 2 and basically anything else, but those aren't options, right, in and among the answer choices. So then I take a look at back here, right? This always has to be different, 5 and 6. And sure enough, that's hanging out here in E as the correct answer choice. For 13, we just need something that could be true. I think you guys have this game down probably at this point already, so we'll just take a look at it. Folder 6 contains the orders for a subject other than nutrition. Yeah, that can be true here. It can be true up here. So these 2 scenarios, that's both true. That's just a quick look at the right answer there, C. Okay, so tough game. Even when you have the scenarios, you still have to do a lot of work looking at these. So it was definitely a bit of a pain to solve. Maybe a game that's going to take a little more time than average to do, even if you're a very talented LSAT taker. But as long as you can apply the advanced ordering techniques to this, I think it's fairly straightforward. and these internal conditional rules that often come in handy there in advanced ordering games. Okay, that's the game. See you on the next one.